Well, hello. This is Brian Swanson here. My name is Michelle Moross, and we are Conversations from the Porch.
From the front porch.
From the front porch today.
Yeah, we haven't made it to the back yet.
We will eventually. Well, thank you for joining us. And I wanted to just kind of give you a heads up. You know, Brian and I, we meet on his front porch almost daily since the whole COVID thing started, and we're neighbors, and we have great deep conversation. And we decided that instead of having deep conversations just on the porch all alone, that we would bring you in on our conversations.
Yeah, lots of them. We talk about the weather. It's gorgeous.
Oh,
it is gorgeous today.
You do have to do the weather.
Yeah. Do the weather?
You have to announce the weather.
Well, good morning, all. It is a bright, sunny day here in Colorado, and we are expecting thunderstorms this afternoon, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we don't end up with another one of those hailstorms again, because that was crazy last week.
I thought it was going to say winds are coming from the east, and there's a slight chance of precipitation from the north at 22 minutes, whatever. Anyways.
Something like that. We'll get this straight.
Well, today we decided we wanted to talk about getting back up, and can we, and how do we heal from all that? And so, are you ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got one share. So somebody else can see us besides you and me.
Oh, that's true. So please share this. Get people on the conversation. Join us. Make comments, because
hit the submit button.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what they always say when they do podcasts, is hit the submit button, but we don't have one yet.
Oh, the subscribe button.
Subscribe, submit, all of that.
Okay, and I discovered today that I am incredibly short.
She just figured this out.
Yeah, I just figured it out.
Yeah, smart people sometimes aren't so smart.
Yeah, it's the whole practical normal thing, right? Okay, so Conversations from the Porch with Brian Swanson and Michelle Moross. It's our new podcast we're starting. We'd love for you to join us. Hello, Gerline. And what we wanted to say today is about the getting back up. How are you getting back up?
Yeah, especially with all this COVID stuff going on. What's happening? There's a lot of people out there that are open, have businesses that they have had for a long time, and all of a sudden, we look around and on the news, this business is closed down, and this business is permanently closed down. This one is temporarily closed down. Well, what do we do as entrepreneurs ourselves who don't have big franchises? What do we do as the independent business owner? Are you strong enough to get back up? And that's one of the things we definitely wanted to talk about today is, are you strong enough to really, bite the bullet, get down in the dirt and the mud and open that business back up? Or is it sometimes a logical case not to do that? Because I'm a big believer in numbers. I'm a big believer in the logic. So sometimes a business doesn't come down to just our emotions. I mean, we do love our businesses. We love serving our customers, whether it's in the restaurant business, whether it's in like catering or any kind of business, honestly. We like our customers. We love our customers. We want to give them the best that we can and still make money on it. Well, sometimes I think the money has to be the talker.
Yeah, we do. We have to look at the practical side. I mean, you don't want to be in a business and go into debt, keeping that business afloat.
Right. Even though PPP came along, PPP was good.
What's a PPP?
I don't remember what it was short for, but it was that program where you could get the business loans and such to keep your business afloat. The government put it out.
Oh, the United States government.
Yeah, the U.S. government put it out. It was like $3 billion or something like that, and we could all get a piece of it if we had a business where we needed to pay our employees. So from that perspective, the PPP program was great, and it kept a lot of business afloat and kept a lot of businesses going. However, there was a lot of stuff too that people don't know yet that comes back to the paperwork, the taxes, the explanation of who you paid, what you paid, proving what you did. I guess from what I understand, that form is horrendous. It's like 3 pages long.
I gave up on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good to have that, and it's good to stay open. So if that helps you, if that's great for you, and hopefully that gets you to the next step, and all it is a little bit of paperwork. But sometimes it's not quite like that. You have businesses in smaller towns, whether it's a tourist town or what have you, that the people just aren't coming in. Mm-hmm. You can't get them to come in no matter what you do. Maybe business was slow in the first place because it was a tourist town. You didn't have people coming in the first place, and business had slowed down for the winter. What do you do when you get hit with COVID and it extends all that money that you saved up for this over the summer last year into the fall, you're about ready to open, and then COVID hits. Now we in this 3 months now. So now you go in 3 months into this. What are you going to do? Well, PPP helps some people. There were some other loans out there locally that right outside of the Better Business Bureau, I think, had some stuff. The CSRBA had, not CSRBA, that's the wrong term. SBDC.
Okay.
The SBDC had
What's
a lot
that?
of good stuff. The Small Business Development Center, right here in Colorado Springs. They're actually nationwide. It is a government program.
He's an acronym kind of guy, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, when you're in the military, you grow up with that.
Yes.
You know, and what we wanted to talk about, not just all of those little things there, but some of it comes down to how do we get back up? What are we going to do? What would you suggest, Michelle, that we do to just kind of bite the bullet and move up if that's what we need to do?
Well, as an entrepreneur, right? What I suggest, if you have your own business and you don't have an employees and things like that, now is a perfect time to be analyzing your business structure. I mean, most people are like, oh my gosh, my hair's on fire, I've lost it. No, there's nothing I'm going to do. And what you need to do is you have to get quiet, and you have to basically do a SWOT analysis. You know what a SWOT analysis is?
There, you see, you're using acronyms now.
No, I'm about to define it.
Oh.
SWOT analysis is basically look at your business, how it stands, and do, okay, where are all my strengths in my business? SWOT, SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Oh,
so you,
SWOT.
yes.
Oh, I meant AT.
Oh, like SWOT.
Yeah. Bang, bang.
No.
Okay.
So what are your strengths of your businesses? Where do you excel, and where is your power in that? Where are your weaknesses? So like a lot of us, we found our weaknesses were, like with my case, my weakness was I didn't have an online platform in order to accommodate my clientele. Everything I did was really live. So my weakness was, okay, I need to move my platform so that I can still be out there and still help and still lift people, do the things that I love to do in my business in order to keep it afloat. Now the O is the opportunities. What in your business structure, is there an opportunity to excel somewhere else? I'm going to use myself as an example again. My opportunity was, I do have Facebook Lives, I do have a podcast, I do have books. So you take what you already have, see the opportunity, and how can you reapply it into a new situation or amplify it and focus on it to raise it to another level so that you can stay afloat. Then you do, again, with the T, you look at the threats. My threat was all the cancellations of every live event. You cannot gather in large groups. My power is in large groups.
Right.
So the threat is, okay, that was my current threat. Now you put yourself in the new world that you're in and do that whole SWOT analysis again. So basically, you're going to have lots of columns of one-worded things going on all over the place. And you find out where your weaknesses and strengths are and how can you shift them to be your benefit. That's a SWOT analysis.
Okay, so if we take a look at, say, a restaurant.
Yes.
What if they own all the equipment that's in the kitchen and stuff? Maybe it's the rent that's going to cause a problem. Maybe they can find a cheaper place to go. Still, I mean, yeah, loading up a U-Haul, it's not always fun. But if that helps your business survive, great, because you've got all the equipment. If you own all of that stuff or you rent it on a long-term kind of a thing, maybe it's the cost of the facility that's costing you. That's maybe the downfall. And you can just take those assets that you already have and move them to another location. We looked at that with some of the stuff we did with the comic book store. We didn't just walk out of the store and leave all of our inventory behind. We took and went to another place with all of that. So you got to look at, well, I think you're right. You got to look at what your assets are, but that's why I was thinking A instead of O. So not opportunity, but assets.
Well, opportunities and your assets. Because think of it, a lot of the restaurants have changed their menus. Think of that.
Yes.
They've changed their menus. Why? And Brian and I were having a conversation about that. Why? Well, there's some food that's perishable that wouldn't have made it through the 3 months that we've been locked down. So what do? You keep all the non-perishables, and then you selectively purchase the things that will expire. And so you shift your menus. If you're a restaurant, you shift your menus so that you can accommodate in things that are going to be able to transfer for a longer period of time.
Hey, we got it. PPP, Paycheck Protection Program.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Yes, awesome.
And please say who you are and where you're from, because it's kind of cool to find that out. And if you see me doing this, it's because I can't see that far.
Well, at least the sun's not right in our eyes.
Well, we're prepared.
Yes, we are. Okay, now we're cool.
Now we're really cool.
It's the Blues Crew.
The Blues Brothers band.
So anyway, another piece of this, we've got on our list is about failure.
Yes.
Okay, so a small piece of this about getting back up. Sometimes we look at ourselves from a mental standpoint and go, I failed at that business. Well, if COVID hit, did you really fail? So is failure, and I think we want to go into this in another conversation later, but is failure a big perspective of how you look at it? Or is it based on your circumstances and just because things didn't work?
Exactly. I mean, what is a failure? I mean, give us a definition. What is failure? This is not failure for any of us, okay? None of us are failing in anything we're doing because of some external factor that came in. All this is, it's like being on a boat and a very large wind pushes you in the wrong direction. What do? You course correct. Now is the time to course correct. Whatever business you're in, course correct. What can you do? What can you use? Use that SWOT analysis to find out where you can re-steer. Because we were talking about failure. It's all in perspective. And what we were talking about again was failure is only a failure if you haven't figured out a way out of it or haven't seen a positive version of the outcome.
Right. Or you don't look at it for a learning experience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's a learning experience. Something we're getting really deep into this failure thing. We can always save that for later.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. We can do that the next time we talk. But I got really distracted. But I am a little, Dory from, what's that little cartoon with the little fish? Finding Nemo.
Not the other Dory where she runs around the planet.
That's Dora.
Oh, okay.
The Explorer.
And I don't speak Spanish, so we're all out of this.
I don't speak Spanish. I'm working on it though.
So yeah, I mean, looking at your business, whether we use restaurants a lot, but I'm also talking, we can also talk about any business in this case. One of the things that's really important and kind of close to my heart is the event stuff.
That's huge for him.
The event programming. If you're creating events, what do you do when you can't put more than 10 people in a room when you're used to putting 400 or 200 or 500 or even a couple thousand for the weekend? The Pikes Peak or Bus Rodeo, I heard yesterday, they're canceling it. We're talking thousands of people. We're talking thousands of dollars or businesses that are involved with this, or hundreds of businesses.
Well, yeah, just think of all the merchandise and the T-shirts and the cups and the blah, blah, blah. I mean, all of these people have been planning for this event for a year at least. And they've got certain money assets set to do things. Actually, what brought us on that whole conversation was we're big music people. And we were talking about what happens when a band is coming into town and it just got canceled. Or the venue canceled and closed. What do? Do you just say, we're not a band anymore, but we're done. No more music for us.
Exactly. You show up at a venue and all of a sudden the governor or whoever it is decides to shut that venue down, even though you're going to play on Friday night. Well, what's the cost to that band? Where did they come from? How much did they drive? Did they have hotel rooms, different things like that? I want to go back here to, I'm sorry if I butchered it, Raquela. When you don't see a way out of it, it's not the point of from failure. It's not a point of not seeing a way out of it, because there's always a way out of your situations.
Yes.
Sometimes it has to do with if you've got a business partner, you can talk to a business partner or a business coach or just some friend that can encourage you to move forward on something in a perspective that you maybe didn't see. I think there's always a way out of it. Even if we're on our own, sometimes we just have to step back. So that doesn't mean it's failure. It means we've learned from the experience and we've moved on and we've taken it to another level.
Yes.
So I don't think there's ever a time when there's no way out of it. Sometimes our decisions that we have to use are maybe not the most conducive to what we want to do. So there might not be pleasing. I mean, moving buildings, if you're a restaurant or a retail store, is not pleasing to move it from one to another, but maybe it is the answer.
Well, and if you think about the whole moving building thing, yeah, it's a painful process to do. But if because of this situation that we're in now, you had to move to a smaller venue and reduce your cost and things of that nature, when you come out of all of this, you now have reduced cost, you're running streamlined. My background is in, I'm a quality systems manager by degree. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but you find efficiencies in what you do. And when you can streamline it and make it more efficient, faster, stronger, with less money, you've won. So any shifting you're doing in this time in order to make yourself run efficiently will just make you stronger, faster, better later.
Well, isn't that what really, honestly, COVID might be an example of this because we're talking such extremes, but isn't that what we need to do anyway?
Yes. Exactly my point. It's what we should always have been doing. And so what this does with this very extreme situation is it made everyone seriously look at their weaknesses and their threats in their businesses.
And sometimes it's a matter of just changing businesses too.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to talk about that. A lot of people come talk to me or reach out to me. He's really good at this. He talks to me. They talk to me about, I don't want to go back to that corporate world, or, I just realized that I can work from home so easily and still do what I do for this company and start my own business. How do I do that?
Well, my first thing on that one is, does it take a special person to become an entrepreneur, or can it be anybody?
You need to have grit.
Ooh, yeah.
You need to be ready to fail multiple times and get right back at it. So basically, you fall, you learn from it, fix that, take that learning process and move it to the next level. That's what an entrepreneur does. They jump, they fall, they keep getting up. So if you are someone who's thinking about, jumping into another line of business or becoming an entrepreneur and going off into something, be prepared. You're not going to get everything 100% right the first time. Really, the guy who made the light bulb, who was that again?
Edison, right? Yeah.
Well, he was one of them. He's the one who got credit for it, but
1,001 tries or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Or what is that? There's an oil like a WD-40. WD-40. And the thing is, it was not called WD-40 for anything special, except that it was the 40th try.
It was the 40th try. And the thing of it is they weren't even attempting to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if you read the story back on that, they were attempting to do something else and they created WD-40, which is out of fish oil. And most people don't know that. It's not actually a petroleum. It's a fish oil. So that's why you can use it on cloth and things, and it won't tear things up. That's the man thing, We are talking about the front porch here and been working on all the yard and stuff, and a little shot of WD-40 helps everything, along with that duct tape.
I want to say I helped with the yard. I stood here and said, you got to move that rock.
Yeah, lots of rock. We only moved 30 ton of it in the last couple of days. So, but let's see. What there was something.
Oh, Nicholas, you're right. You have to fall forward. If you fall backwards, not a good thing, because then you're starting backwards, right? You need to, when you fall, keep falling forward and move forward. Learn from the lesson of the fall and apply it to the next step.
So one step back instead of two.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, or basically you're doing the cha-cha.
Put your left foot in, put your right foot out.
No, that's the hokey pokey.
Oh.
And you do.
Really? We've taken this to a whole new level. And a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is serious. We like to have a little bit of humor because that's what we do when sitting here on the front porch. Just having a good time and having, maybe having a beer or having a drink or all those other kind of things. And it does not always serious. Being serious is, yeah, it's fun, but it can be really stuffy sometimes. So we wanted to, when we did this from the front porch, we wanted to make this a little bit light.
So are we succeeding with the light part?
I think we might be. We were called dorks earlier.
What?
Yeah, somewhere up there. But Raquela says, what's your outlook on the finances? COVID is putting you behind. If the finances are putting you behind, that's where I come in and where I mentioned earlier. It comes down to the logic. It comes down to the numbers. Can you overcome the numbers? Is there a way to do those numbers by getting loans? Is there a way through the PPP program or some of the SBA programs? Is that where some of that money can come from? But what you also have to keep in mind is, everything has got the reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you borrow the money, if it happens to be a loan rather than a grant, what's it going to cost you in the long run? So the overall outlook might get you through the next 2 or 3 months, but if it's going to take you another 5 years to pay that loan off, is it really worth it? I can't answer that question. You can't be, nobody else can answer that question but you and your business. Because if you've got a business that, let's say, makes $1,000 a month, and your rent, or between your rent and everything else, is going to cost you $990, and then you turn around and put a loan on it for the next 5 years at $200, that might not be the best outlook for you. So can I give you a definitive answer on the numbers and the finances? No, I can't. But can you find grants out there? Those are other options that you can find online. Grants for different things, especially if you're a nonprofit. You've got the loans that are coming from the banks. You can also go down to your local branch and see if they've got business loans, what they are out there for you, and how is that loan payment going to affect your business a year from now?
A long run.
Right.
Now I'm going to go smaller.
Smaller.
I'm going to go smaller.
Okay.
If the finances are a problem for you, look at what your everyday expenses are. What can you eliminate? For one thing, I had a client who said, my numbers are getting really tight. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to spread what I've got here. And I said, what do you have that you don't really need? So those of you in the direct TV, internet stuff, close your ears. I forgot you do. If there's a service you have in your home that you can live without for a bit, get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, a really good one on that one.
What?
Usually your business and your personal don't mix, but if you're in a smaller business, and you're an LLC or something like that you do from home, and you want a little bit extra cash, sometimes you can get rid of certain things. Look at your streaming services.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, all those other kind of things. Take those, and I'm going to go back to the word you used earlier, streamline them. Do you really need ESPN to pay for it? Do you really need, oh God, I hate to say this. Do you really want to, do you really need Netflix? Most of the time.
Just think of how many things you can get online.
Yeah, the free services alone. Granted, you may not be up to date every single day, but at least that money's back in your pocket.
Yeah.
So at least take a look at your finances and streamline your finances. And that, we talked about earlier, that's one of the things that I do is finances. Mm-hmm. So take a look at your finances. Sometimes I've offended some people sometimes, said, how much Coke do you drink? Well, I go through 2 bottles a day, 2-liter bottles a day. Well,
how many lattes do you drink?
Yeah, how many lattes do you drink? Well, instead of stopping every day, why not stop every other day? I'm not asking you as a financial person to give up your stuff that you love, but at $5-6 a day, that's what, 7 and 5, that's $35 a week. Cut that in half. Okay, that can save and move somewhere else. And your business is the same way. So whether it's a small business or a larger business, where can you streamline certain things and just get down into the nuts and bolts?
Well, something I did when I realized my entire income had stopped is I put a jar on the side of my counter in my kitchen. And every time I said, I really wish I could go out for a coffee, or I really want to go out to lunch, I took whatever money I was going to spend and I put it in the jar. When I ran out of cash, I put a little note of what I would have spent, and I put that little note in the jar. And so basically, I learned this from my girlfriend, Janine Bolin. Okay, she does like money stuff. But anyway, she was like, you are making money by not spending money.
Right.
So think about that. So you can cut back on the amount of times you're not eating out. Okay. Then the other thing you can do is turn off more lights. reduce your utility costs by being more conservative on what you use in your utilities. Instead of taking 2 showers a day, heck, most of you guys are waking up and staying in your pajamas all day. So, take 1 shower and don't waste the money.
One shower every 3 days because they can't smell you on the radio or on the podcast.
Okay, but think of things like that. Look at your expenses and find where can you streamline, because we all have money sitting there that we've been wasting because we're so used to just using it freely. So figure out how you can do that. We've got like our
producer.
Our producer in the back here is laughing at us. But really, you need to find where your money is going. Look at it very deeply and be honest with yourself.
Right.
Do I really need that?
Right.
Every time you go online and you start searching on Amazon, whatever you like to shop on, and you keep saying, buy now, buy now, buy now, stop it.
One of the neat places, or I shouldn't say neat places, one of the things that I don't like is 2-for-1 sales. If I go into the grocery store, and yes, I may save money because I'm going to use it later.
Yeah.
That's one idea of it. But if I go in for, let's say, a can of mushroom soup, and it's 2-for-1, and I only need 1, but it's going to cost me 60 more cents. Well, what do I need to buy the other one for? Even though it costs me per can a little bit more to buy just the 1 can, do I really need to spend that extra money? It's a little hidden thing. We think these are all deals, buy one, get one. Well, sometimes what do you need to, that you get on the TV, where the shredders and stuff like that. Why do I need 2 of them if it's going to cost me less just to buy 1?
Well, I'm thinking a lot of us do the whole big box buying. And
Costco,
Sam's,
not
and
supposed
things
to
like.
mention companies.
Yeah, we're not supposed to mention. But anyways, when you go buy big things like that, if there's 2 of you in the house, do you really need all that? I mean, I know the price is good, but how long does it take you to get through that?
Right.
So think about where you spend your money. And I'm going to say it again. I can't really see. I'm relying on Brian to read the thread because I can't see that far. So.
Oh, I'm seeing it. We've got to cover marketing because Raquela wants to know.
Okay, so marketing. When you're marketing your business nowadays.
Raquela says, how do you attract people to your business?
Hi, my name is Michelle Moraz.
Hi, my name is Brian.
And I like to, find this, help people remove that veil of basically you go out and you get yourself on social media. Remember, people aren't driving around. If you don't have a billboard, if you don't have newspaper ads, if you don't have that kind of thing, you need to start getting really into the faces of where people are.
Right.
And right now it's right here.
Right.
So if you are afraid of doing any, Facebook lives or anything like that, then take pictures of, you said massage business, your massage table, and make it look all nice and peaceful. Okay. Right. And take a picture of it and say, are you stressed? Do you need some downtime away from your family? Something
Go
like
to your
that.
neighbor's front porch.
That's kind of what I do. But that's what you do. You start advertising the room and the sanctuary in that massage room. So do you see what we're talking about is market yourself through social media. Everyone is in front of their computers right now. You need to be in front of them, and that's the way you get to them.
Well, I want to challenge you to that on one aspect.
Okay.
If you look at what even the platform we're using right now, advertisers and marketers are pulling out of it, the big business stuff, they're not supporting it. What happens if this particular social media here goes belly up?
That's why you have multiple streams.
Well, multiple streams. I would also encourage one-on-one person talk.
Oh, most definitely.
The reason why I say that is because if we start a new business, we're all jacked out of our minds to start a new business. And the first thing that we do is we go, let's say we start a wrecker service. We're like, hey, if you ever need your car towed, here's my card. And you go to your family, you go to your friends, you go to your neighbors, and even if you're standing in line at the supermarket,
listen to people.
Right, listen to what they're saying. Johnny Go Lately over here wrecked his car the other day, and it's abandoned on the side of the road, and we haven't figured out who's going to pick him up yet. What would you do if your business is a wrecker business? You would go, here's my card. So it's personal contact. I think we're really getting back to that personal contact. Social is becoming social in itself, like it used to be.
Yeah.
Even
social.
Dealing with social media, you're going to have better success by reaching out to a person through instant messenger than you are by blanketing everything. Yes, you need the presence. You need to do those kind of things. There's lots of stuff that can go there, whether you spend money or don't spend money. But a lot of times,
but you've
just
got to remember.
individual.
What you've got to remember about when I say go on social media and show things, what you also want to say when people start interacting with you is you say, let's get on a call. Let's get on a Zoom call. Because here's the thing, people do business with those they know, like and trust. So if you leave your business card just laying around, or you are in a crowd and you just say, I overheard you, here's my card. No, it's not going to happen. You have to say, well, you know, I heard you. I just overheard you. I'm sorry. I just overheard you say that you were in a car accident. Are you in pain, or
are you okay?
Are you okay? Because you know what I do. I'm going to use.
Then they're going to think you're an insurance agent.
I'm going to use Raquela. I'm a massage therapist, and I can really help work that out of you so that it doesn't get worse. Before, if you're not in pain, I'll help you before it gets worse. So you want to make sure that there's an interaction. So not a, hey, I'm a massage therapist, and blah, 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 blah. You don't want to do it that way. You need to be who you are. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a massage therapist, when you talk to them, you soothe them with your own voice and say, come to me and I'll help work that out of you.
But some of us don't have a soothing voice.
Yes, you do.
No.
We all have it.
No.
Okay, then he's not a massage therapist either.
No,
so.
I know. Yeah, these fingers don't work for that.
So basically, so you can, and then other clients, so like, I'm still using Raquela, okay? You have had people come to your office who've used you as a massage therapist, right?
Right.
Reach out to them personally and say, hi, if you could help me out, you know what kind of services I give. Could you do me a favor and give me a testimony on my page?
Yeah. Asking for personal testimonies, likes and shares.
Yeah.
I mean, especially social media, it's so easy it used to be back in the day that, can you talk about this? And then people just run off on their own. Well, now if you're talking to them on social media, hey, can you share our video?
Yeah, can you share this video, please?
Can you please share this video? That's that's marketing. And did that cost us anything except for 2 seconds of our time?
No, and the other thing about it is when you get on social media and you let people talk on your thread, make sure you're responding to them and then connecting to them on a direct message and say, let's get on a call. The other thing is you want to stay in your lane. I mean, I know that sounds really, really bad right now, but when you're on social media and you're talking about your business, you don't want to be, I'm going to have to pick on Raquela again. You're a massage therapist and then you start posting about your food. People get confused and they do, is she a massage therapist or does she cook? I don't understand. You see, so you want people to relate your name to what you do.
Right. I know Raquela's doing a lot of the talking over here in the thread. If anybody else has got any questions, please do feel free to ask, and we can take it a little bit different direction or what have you. None of this is scripted or anything like that. But Raquela brings up the fact of being more specific to needs, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, what I would say, and our multi-level networking people and stuff will really appreciate this. Sometimes it's not about the product. Sometimes it's about what's your major focus. Okay. Those other things you take a look, and I'm going to use the multi-level marketing because
there's a lot of MLM.
Right. Or direct sales, call it what you will. Personally, one of the greatest business models that were ever invented, but
a little biased.
Yeah, just a little bit. If you look at most of your direct sales companies, it's about recruiting and products. Well, if I go after a product on somebody, excuse me, if I talk to somebody specifically about a product, if they don't want that product, I'm going to lose them at that moment and it's all over. Well, if I talk to them about possibly recruiting and what is in it for them, then it can turn over into a product sale. So now you hit both. Or if you miss the recruiting, you at least hit the product sales. So it depends on what your target is. There's a really great video out on from TED, and I don't remember what it is, but it was a guy, he talks about Apple, and he talks about the circle, and it's a target and stuff. I really wish I could remember his name.
We'll get it next time.
Yeah, it's a really great video, and he talks about target marketing, and it's about going to the center of your target. And if you happen to miss the target, the center, the bullseye, you might pick something up on the edges. Whereas if you go for the edges, you just might miss the target entirely.
Well, with my clients, I always say, who's your avatar client? You don't want to throw a net out hoping you're going to catch the one person you're after. You are, when you market, exactly, you want to search exactly for that target audience.
Right.
So who are you looking for? And that's who you
Right.
are marketing to. That's the language you want to talk to. That's everything. Because you're like, oh, but I'm going to offend so-and-so, or so-and-so's not going to like me, or, oh, because, no, forget them. They're not your client. Your avatar is who you speak to.
Right.
And they'll come. If you build it, they will come.
You build it. You just got to build it big. How do you build it big? That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
So we've covered a lot of this stuff. Let's see what else.
We're like at 35 minutes too.
Are we? Oh,
Yeah.
We've been at this a while. So one of the things I wanted to cover, I got to go back to our list here.
Oh, please.
Is entrepreneurship. What if you're working in a job?
Okay.
You know, that job, just over broke. What if you're working in a job?
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that one?
No, job, just over broke. That's
Yep.
terrible.
Which is what we do. We go to work to get paid so that we can live. Okay. Well, if we go to work to be our own boss and to make our own decisions and go where we want to go, I mean, you as an entrepreneur, you go to, your little place in the mountains every weekend as you choose, but you're still working and you're still making money. That's about the beauty of being an entrepreneur. But if you're in a job and you decide that you're done with the job, whether it's because of COVID or whatever, and you decide to go into your own business, how do you make that transition of being an entrepreneur from being an employee?
Well, it's a serious mental shift. That's my whole podcast is about. All the people who have left their job, their job, and became entrepreneurs or something of that nature. They've moved on to something else. It's a mental shift that you have to create in your mind. And it's not just, and today I'm going to be an entrepreneur. No, there's a lot of buildup to that. Okay. You need to know what your target audience is,
right,
what your product is, where you're going to concentrate, and you need to be very organized. I know that sounds like a scary thing, but that's what planners are for. You need to be your own time schedule. You
right,
have to set your times for when you're off, when you're going to work, who you're going to go to, what networking groups. There's a lot of online ones now. Okay.
right.
Where you're going to go, how you're going to market. It takes a lot. Well, how are you going to go in there? Because I've got a lot going on. This is a huge topic for me. I think we could talk for hours.
Oh, we could go for hours. But I think part of it is, I mean, even realtors are entrepreneurs. If they decide to quit their job and be a real estate agent, they don't make money unless they sell a house. Something. So they have to market themselves. They have to do all of the stuff that any other entrepreneur does. So they are entrepreneurs. So they've got to make their own decisions. But
I've got a caveat in there.
What?
When you become an entrepreneur, you are your brand.
Yes.
Everything you do is your brand.
Agreed. Yes. It doesn't belong to another company.
No. So you can't say, well, today I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be flipping people off on the road while I'm driving. You can't do that because you're basically a billboard for who you are.
And your social media has to be neutral. That's a big topic we can always talk about later too.
Yeah, we'll do that.
If you look at my particular Facebook page and go through it, you're typically not going to find anything that's political, that's religious, that creates controversy of any sort from any topic.
But it's not, and see, that's
neutral.
Target audience.
Yes.
Remember that. Target audience.
Get closer to the screen.
Okay, I want to get really close. So you have to be careful when you're an entrepreneur because you are your brand. Okay, so stay on brand no matter what you are on social media now, because the thing is people are watching you. They're watching, not in a scary way, but they're watching you for when you are.
I want to delete that.
You are your brand, so you must speak your brand, be true to your brand. And if you are, whatever entrepreneur business you end up starting, that you live it. You aren't just like Hair Club for Men. For those of you who are old enough to, I'm not just a client. I mean, I'm not just a such and such spokesperson. I'm also a client. That's really what it is. When you're an entrepreneur, you use your own work. As a coach, I always say, you could really use a coach in your life in order to build you to see outside, inside. I have 4 coaches.
Right.
So I don't say you need a coach, but I don't. No, I use what I say needs to be done. So if you're selling, widgets, you better have a widget somewhere in your house that you use. Do you understand?
Right.
Ooh, loud.
I do anyway. Hey, truck going by. I have to go back to Derek. Derek says it's not realtors, it's realtors.
Realtors.
Well, I came from the Midwest, so I stretch things out
Realtors.
sometimes. Realtors.
He says, cue the music. I'll be watching. Oh, I'll be watching you.
I'll be watching you.
No, see, I was thinking, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
You notice I didn't do that out loud.
Yeah, he can't sing.
Oh, you told me I could.
I think he can. I think he would do a great William
Shatner. That is not singing. Sorry.
Wait, can we do it real quick? What was that song?
No, I'm not doing it real quick.
There was a song about close your eyes. No, turn around.
I think we're losing our audience.
We are losing our audience. Okay, we've lost it. So we've been going on way too long. It's 40 minutes long so far. We really didn't want to stay that long. So,
I think we've covered a lot of good things. We talked about, well, let's summarize. It's that military in me. You got to talk about what you're going to talk about it, and then tell them what you told them.
So for those of you who just joined or leaving or whatever, what you missed out on, and we talked about getting back up. You know, can we, how do we heal from it? How do we see that, view ourselves as, the perspective of failure and how it isn't a failure if you're learning from it. And then what else did we talk about?
We talked a little bit about healing. We talked a little bit about perspective. We talked about marketing, thanks to Raquela. We talked about transitioning from being a JOB or a job into being an entrepreneur. We talked about some of the programs out there that are could help your business possibly when it comes to the numbers and the logic and those kind of things.
Oh, and we talked about SWOT analysis.
Strengths. SWAT.
OT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Do it for your business. Find out where you're going, what you need to watch out for, and how you can adjust your business in order to fix it before it happens.
Then what's the most important thing we talked about? Oh, I got her thinking now.
Nicholas said mindset. It's basically your attitude to what you do. No. The biggest thing.
Subscribe button.
Subscribe button.
If we had I can't. I don't know where the subscribe button is.
I don't know.
There is none. But please share.
There will be.
Please share if you're motivated by this and you like what we talked about. Please join us the next time we do this. I think we're going to do this every 2 weeks.
I think every 2 weeks. We might go every Friday because we're crazy and we talk a lot. But what I'd like to do is, if you're listening and you like what you hear, write in the comments what you'd like to hear more of, and then the next time we come on, I'd like to do it every Friday personally, but when we come back on, he's like, oh no. But
can I bring beer with me the next time?
I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know. Is it legal?
I don't know. You might have to put it in a cozy.
A koozie cozy?
Yeah, the little cover thing. Well,
okay.
Anyways.
Whatever.
But anyways, the thing is tell us what you want to hear more on, and we'll go deeper into that subject. Right now, we just kind of touched really high level on everything, but we can go back and go deeper into different subjects that you want us, and you can help us build the platform of what we will be sharing with all of you on the podcast. Right now, the podcast will be airing through my website, my YouTube, which you can find on my website. So I'm going to put that there on michellemoras.com. Go there and you'll be able to find the YouTube page.
How's this work? There we go.
Right this way. Michelle Moras. Okay. And then you can go to the YouTube page and find us. And we're calling this Conversations from the Porch, from the front porch. Mm-hmm. But find us there and then like, subscribe, share. Because there are a lot of people like you and us and I, you and I, that are going through a lot of changes. And we have to look at the pros and cons of what's coming towards us. And we are having candid conversations about it. Please share.
Please share.
And join us next Friday. I'll convince them. And join us next Friday at noon and we'll discuss more. Give us some ideas of what you want to hear or what you want deeper in, and we'll do it. Okay?
I think we need to say goodbye now.
It's so, what was Carolina saying? It's so nice to have this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. And just before we started, whatever. It's
Bye,
done.
Guys.
Goodbye. And we'll see you next week on Friday at noon. And please share, like, subscribe, and give some topics to talk about.
Will you hit the button already?
And we'll talk to you later. Okay. I'll end the broadcast. My God.
Bye, guys.
He's so bossy. Bye. Oh, wait.
What? Oh, we're out.
We're out. Peace.